So on my prom day, I was freaking out and my makeup was a mess. I had to redo it. I was having a full-fledged panic attack. My date came and picked me up. He was my boyfriend of almost 2 years. He came to my house with his parents and they were all taking pictures of us. We borrow my dad's 67 Camaro. It's very fancy. And we get to prom and everything's fine. I'm greeted by my friends. I'm being introduced to my friends' dates. We're all getting ready to sit at the table together. And then I see my boyfriend's phone vibrate and I look down and I pick it up and he receives a text from not one, but two of his ex-girlfriends. And I just look at him and I'm like, what is this about? And he just shrugs and he's like, oh, like they just are texting me, Amanda just asked me a question about her car. And Helen, she just was trying to get back in contact with me. I haven't even really said much to her. I just don't really care. I knew that this wasn't the truth deep down. I got a really bad feeling in my stomach. But because this wasn't just my prom, it was my friend's prom too, I didn't want to make a scene. So I just pretended like nothing had happened. And we had a good time. We danced, even though he was not much of a dancer at all. I remember going home with him and we were getting ready for the dry grad afterwards. So we arrived and I notice again he's on his phone and I don't say anything. I just notice that once he presses his home button, there's an app that looks a little bit familiar. And I look closer and it's a dating app. I ask him, what is this? And he's like, oh, it's nothing. And he's starting to get super defensive and he's trying to rip the phone from my hand. But at this point, I'm getting a little bit irritated. So I open the app and all these girls are messaging him. I was just so upset. I was asking him, why would you do this? Is it just out of curiosity? And he was like, yeah. It's just out of curiosity. Nothing's happened. Like you've seen the texts. Like, obviously, I haven't messaged any of these girls back. Like, I would never cheat on you. And again, like, I knew in my stomach that something was wrong, but I didn't want to make a scene. Even though leaving him wouldn't have ruined my prom, it actually would have been a way more epic prom story. After that, a week or so later, he kind of stopped talking to me, and I remember going to his house and trying to get a hold of him, but he was out and his parents thought he had been out with me for a few days, but he had been out partying with one of the girls he was texting, and I soon found out he was cheating on me. And yeah, I guess that's the story of my not so great prom date.
Oh my god, and we totally jumped off the cliff and had to swim all the way to shore because the dog chased us all the way to the end. Oh.